My name is Zuzanna Nalepa, and I'm going to talk to you about the impact of human activity on the soundscape of nature in the perspective of anthropology and of sound and ecoacoustics. So, as being said, I'm a student of cultural anthropology, and my main interest is the sound that is surrounding us everywhere. So unfortunately, my presentation can't be seen, but I'm gonna tell you about some few main problems that anthropology of sound and ecoacoustics are talking about. So the first, anthropology of sound is a specialization in cultural anthropology dealing with the relationship between humans and the acoustic environment. Anthropology of sound is a rapidly growing subfield of social sciences dealing with the study of ways of knowing and co-creating the world through sound. And this is a definition that's been given by Stephen Feld, a researcher from United States. And the main Feld's theory is about that our surroundings create us through sound, and at the same time sound makes us also co-create this like surroundings. So there are some categories of sound, like three of them, and the first one is called phonosphere, and the phonosphere is about the sounds resulting from human voice expression, etc., coughing, whispering, laughing, breathing, spoken sounds, but also those recorded with the use of recording devices. The second category is called sonosphere, which draws attention to both the sound and the origin of the sound. It looks for values in the sound made not only by instrument. For example, the hum of waterfall, the whir of an engine, etc. In other words, the surrounding sound reality. And the third category is called audiosphere. It is about the sounds and sounds that determine the specificity of a given space. The acoustic ecology is a discipline studying the relationship mediated through sound between human beings and their environment. And I know that I didn't put the word acoustic ecology in the theme of my speech, but I think acoustic ecology is connected to ecoacoustics. So that's why I'm trying to tell you what it is about. So acoustic ecology was created by Raymond Murray Schafer in late 1960s at Simon Fraser's University in Vancouver, Canada. They conducted a project called World Soundscape Project, which was an international research, which goal was to find solution for an ecologically balanced soundscape where the relationship between the human community and its sonic environment is in harmony. So now, with this brief history of acoustic ecology, I would like to talk about ecoacoustics, which is a new interdisciplinary branch of sciences that studies sounds and their connections with the environment in space and time, thus extending acoustics and bioacoustics. Sound is both a subject of research and a research tool. And the concept of ecoacoustics first appeared in 2014 in Paris at the conference about ecology and acoustics. Ecoacoustics supports the ecology of sound in providing scientific, reliable information about the environment, its changes and threats. Eco-acoustics makes it possible to find relationships between the spatial variability of landscapes types and the variability of compositions in the sound layer. So as you can see, those categories can be connected with Anthropocene, in which we are living right now. And I'm sorry for this sound. My little doggy is like a bit frustrated right now. So Anthropocene is, by definition, is a geological epoch characterized by a significant human influence on the ecosystems and the geological system of planet Earth. Anthropocene has its own unique features, which is climate change, which can cause, and it causes, migration of people, melting of glaciers and ice sheets, changes of extreme weather phenomena. It also features planet surface changing as rapid urbanization, land conversion for agriculture and industry. It also features exploitation of fossil deposits and environmental pollution as global warming, for example, ozone hole, acid rain, waste management problem, etc. So, as a student of cultural anthropology and graduation student of musicology, I wanted to connect those two disciplines, and that's how I started to think about the sound representation of the Anthropocene. In the book that is called The Sound of Climate Change, Sonic Rhetoric in the Anthropocene, The Age of Human Impact from 2016, written by Comstock and Hawkes. The usefulness of sound is a rhetorical resource that can be used to communicate the effects of climate change. Sound is an important cultural and political resource, and an excellent rhetorical means of communicating the unpredictable experiences for climate change, loss, and extinction. Sound has both a physical influence on people and can be seen as a carrier of meanings and values. The temporal dimension of sound as a potential for rendering climate change is also a very important thing in a research that I'm trying to conduct for my master degree. So impermanences, ephemeralism, affectivity, they are in correlation with the fragility of the world, the transience of beings. Modern technology allows the recording of sounds also inaccessible to human reception. Recordings, for example, which field recordists are taking, allows researchers to notice the progressive changes, confront that is currently audible with what is no longer heard, but still exists in the memory of people, for example. So I think there is a huge potential of sound to represent the Anthropocene. The people who can show us that the Anthropocene has its sound itself sound are composers, sound artists, eco and bioacoustics, the amateurs of field recording. They can show us the relationship of sound with the environment, a given place and time. They can show the specificity of places. They can show the shaping of public spaces, show the dynamics and holistic nature of the environment in we live in. So in the research that I'm conducting, I think that this huge potential of sound can be given by artistic projects, audio archives, sound maps. Like they can, through them, we can focus attention on the place and the environment as a rich resource of artistic inspiration and acoustic fascinations. Sound can also be a medium of the Anthropocene. That's because sound environments can be seen as harmonious wholes created by various beings and subject to destruction as a result of human activity. Sound can also communicate as interspecies communication. Mm, the soundscape anatomy, soundscape as a different, like a whole definition, was created by Bernie Krause in his huge a movie, which is called The Great Animal Orchestra, Finding the Origins of Music in the World's Wild Places. And Krause saw and gave us three different dimensions of the sounds that we are like living in. The first one is called geophony, which is about non-biological sounds of nature, for example, wind, tectonic movements, and water. Biophony is about sounds made by living organisms other than humans, and anthropophony is about sounds made by humans. So for Krause, the most important most important sounds are the electromechanical sounds produced by the devices, and it is their influence, similar to Schaeffer's, and that turns out to be the most destructive for natural sound environments, rich and varied biophones. Man-made sounds become dominant, drawing out bio and geophony. Harmonious and therefore undamaged acoustic environments are systems in which biological and non-biological beings are attuned, and the sound activity of individual organisms is related to the acoustics features of the inhabited area. Listening to the recording soundscapes is important in diagnosing the condition of the environment that indicates that climate change is one of the reasons for the rapid transformation of biophonic patterns. So as you can see, sound research can be seen as a medium of climate change. And the analysis of the sound compositions of the landscapes gives high hopes for studying changes in the ecosystem over time, which can be defined as chronostructure. Appropriate selection of sound samples, for example, duration of a single recording, frequency of recording, duration of the entire study, allows you to design the study that allows to learn about the daily and annual cyclical variability, which results from the activity of insects, frogs, and birds, for example, as well as evolutionary and sudden changes in the landscape. Acoustic monitoring can be used to research the impact of climate change and anthropopressure on zoonosis. inter alia through the possibility of determining the place and time of such important events as copulation, reproduction, or migration of animals. A change in the structure and functioning of the landscape can cause a significant change in the sound composition. Having knowledge of cyclical changes and using automated monitoring, it is possible to detect anomalies in the variability that may indicate the occurrence of changes in the environment. So yeah, that was that was the theme I wanted to talk about to you. So yeah, thank you.